Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Angel of Thy Night radio show, and this is your host, Lord Rick, and your founder, of course, and right now about the only paranormal investigator for the whole organization. I'd like to take the time to wish Jason well. He was our lead investigator, but he has moved out of Florida, so he'll no longer be on the team, but he does have plans in the future to come out west and help me out a little bit, or at least help out with some investigations down the road. He's done a couple hundred investigations with us, so you know, when you tend to do a lot of investigations and journeys and exploring with people, you know, you tend to, after a while, bond. You know, sisters become sisters, brothers become brothers, and you get a system going on as you're out there in the dark, and you know, you're looking for ghosts in the middle of the night, you're roaming a cemetery. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do, and you know, sometimes it can really hurt the team when you lose a good investigator like that. But he had to go back up north and to help his family out, and I wish him very well on his journeys. As you can see, I've been absent for a good month, maybe about 4 weeks, I'd say. What happened was I was switching services and I had no choice but to accept dial-up for a couple weeks, which because of that I was not able to do the sends. And to make matters worse, I had an NDTV or something of the sort, and I had all these errors popping up, and I couldn't figure out what the deal was because, you know, certain EXE files weren't working like virus scanners, and very soon wasn't able to get on the internet. So I ended up going to the library to use the computer, and you know, I'd moderate the groups and the forums and the site and all that, but I was doing it from the public library, which made things really difficult. So, you know, we actually, it hurt our forums because there was no sends for a few weeks by me. And of course, you know, a few people wondered where I was. And then I reinstalled Windows, but my product code wasn't working for some odd reason. I had to get a new one. Finally got my high speed and found out what it was, that I had a worm in my system. So I had to get rid of the worm and then reinstall Windows for the third or fourth time to finally cleanse it out of the system and all that. So it was a lot of work, and you know, that's why I've been absent for about a month now. I'm just starting to get things going. While I was away, I did an investigation of a haunted house. We're a little behind in site updates. You know, sends have started to go out to our forums the last week or so. I still got a lot of catching up to do, but I'll get it done. We got an investigation coming up, probably not this weekend, but we got a big one coming up the weekend after. Probably going to be going out to 3 to 5 places. It's going to be very hard because I have to do it alone. I don't have any investigators. We had 2 investigators, or 2 people write us, that wanted to join the team. And you know, it's kind of strange because a lot of people want to do this, or they want to commit to it, or they say they do, and they never end up doing it. And the paranormal and exploring is the type of thing you just got to go out and you got to do it. You can't think about it. You can't fear it. And you just got to look at it and just say, hey, I'm going all out. And that's how it is with our investigations. You know, one thing leads to another. We'll be going down a dirt road up in the woods, and we'll go down another dirt road, and we'll get out and we'll explore further, and next you know, we're finding abandoned places. And that's just how it goes. I think everything takes an effort. What's really sad is that nobody has shown to a meetup in a long time. I don't know why. I really don't want to know why. But the meetups are very critical to the organization. It allows people to come on out. It allows people to talk. It allows people to get involved. And there's nothing wrong with that. It allows me to interview new investigators to see if you're serious, to see if this is something you want to do. and they get to know me and they get to know the group and all we have to offer. Even if you're not planning on investigating, the meetups are there for fun. Have a brew, play a little pool, look at the waitresses, just have a good time. That's what it's about. Our organization's designed so that way people can go visit other people in other states and investigate, and you know, it works out even for me. If I go out of state, I can come to some of my fans' hometown and of course take them to various places to explore and look at some ghosts and try to discover a few things. But we're more than just a ghost organization. I mean, we work with cryptozoology, UFOlogy. But I realize that I've not done a radio show in a long time. There was a few who did miss it. We don't have a lot of listeners, but you know, it takes time for me to get my voice across the net. And these radio shows will go out to thousands and thousands eventually. It just takes a little bit of time. And of course, we're going to get sponsors and things of that sort. And you know, we keep expanding every day, and that's what it's about. We want to expand. We want to get ourselves involved in becoming friends. And you know, it's just some of the people I've met have been good people. Where, you know, I've came out for a few days and I've ended up staying with somebody and we've ended up hiking and doing all kinds of things. So get involved. And, you know, I'm not going to always be here every moment. My youngest, he just started kindergarten and I've just been very busy lately. And it's really tough when you lose two pals and they move out. You know, it's very hard to deal with. And right now I'm in the rebuilding stage. I only have a few months in Florida left. I've been trying to enjoy myself a little. I've been taking the edge off, not doing as many investigations. We haven't done many in the last 4 months, I know. It doesn't mean that I'm any less committed to the paranormal. Just that I'm letting wounds heal. I'm taking a vacation. Last week I went out to the ocean. I went diving for sand dollars. I got to swim with a manatee. Did a little saltwater fishing. And it's healthy for me because doing these things allows me to be productive in my work, of course. Oh, and another thing is, I'd like to apologize for the quality of this radio broadcast. When I had gotten the worm, my sound program had gotten eliminated. I no longer have it. I'll get it back. I didn't even get to try it, to be honest with you. I had downloaded it, and then 2 days later I had gotten hit with the worm and the virus and all that. But it's a good sound program. I hope to have it back so that I can continue to do these radio broadcasts and at least get my word out there and be able to talk to my fans and my members and my friends and so on. Some people like this because they're able to walk away from the computer, sit back, just listen in. I mean, I don't expect nothing in return. I just want people to hear me out. Same thing with the meetup. You know, I just want to shake a few people's hands and meet a few people and just have a good time. That's all I want. We got a lot of events going on in the future. We got a Halloween party coming up. It's our biggest party of the year. Probably our last party we're going to throw in Florida. Sort of my goodbye party. You know, I've seen enough in Florida. I've been to a lot of haunted places. I've had a lot of experiences. I mean, I've dealt with screaming ghosts out here and things chasing us in the woods, especially up in Cassadaga. It's an area that gets me every time I'm only a few miles away. I'm surprised I don't go there more often. I mean, it's such a haunting place. And at night, if you hike up in the woods up there, there's something in there that chases you around. Well, besides the people, the locals, that get a little bit frisky when people come up there, you know, but I've had my fair share of experiences in Cassadaga. We did a newspaper story which made the front page of at least 3 newspapers. Just a really strange area. And of course, the one girl that was with us, she seen a shadow up there in the cemetery. A lot of people actually see ghosts up in the Cassadaga Cemetery. The reason why I bring it up is that a member had mentioned Cassadaga. Actually, I get a lot of emails to this day about it, and I have no regrets in my journeys. I mean, the couple times I went up there, they were killer investigations. It's probably one of my more successful journeys in the Central Florida area. As you can see, there's been a lot of changes to our website. The first thing I'd like to go on about, I suppose, is that we reverted back to free, which means the website is currently free for the public. Our archives are open to the public. We're not charging subscriptions or anything like that. A lot of reasons why I did it. Of course, my friend gave me a little bit of honest advice about it, and he is right. But at the time, the subscriptions were a way to gather funding to cover the cost of the site, equipment, and investigations. We didn't make very much money, maybe $60 in the last 7 months off the subscriptions. Just small pocket change, you know. But we did revert back to free. This is just another opportunity for us, for television producers and editors, to look at our work. So it works out really for the Paranormal Ghost Society, and it works out for me. I'm not a quitter. I've never been the type to just give up. I've done over 700 investigations. I plan on doing 700 more in the future. I've slowed down a little bit in Florida. You know, the summertime, it's hot, it's humid. You kind of stay indoors, and then when it cools down, you start doing as many investigations as you can out here, because it doesn't stay cool very long in the state of Florida. So the site's back free, so if you're a new member and you're listening in, just go to the main page, just click enter and go in there, and you can read the investigation archives. You know, it's just, my problem, I guess, is as a founder, is that I hate to see haunted places vandalized. I hate to see people go to these places because they're on my site. Then they think they're Ghostbusters and they form their own group, and you know, I'm busting my balls exploring and investigating places by myself because there's 10 different groups locally in the area that jumped on the bandwagon. So it's, you know, it's a really tough dilemma, and I'm very proud of my work. We don't always get paranormal evidence on our investigations, but we put everything up and we say, hey, make your own decision. A lot of stuff that happens in front of our eyes. You can't put that on a website, but you can definitely see it as a group. Also, some of you may have noticed that when you browsed our site, your virus scanners may have picked up a worm or a Trojan or a virus. You know, about a month ago, someone told me my site's full of spyware, and that's not true. About a month ago, when all this went down and my computer crashed, I was not aware of what the problem was. I heard Service Pack 2 would fix it. I got it. It didn't work. I waited for it to come in the mail. It did fix a few things temporarily, but then everything went haywire again because the worm just kept spreading. And that same worm was spreading to other people's computers, and a lot of people's hard drives crashed. I didn't put it up on the site. What happened was that someone either virused the site or virused me, which went onto the site, and it infected the HTML files with malicious malware. It's called the iframe virus. It's a new system that a lot of hackers are using, and basically it infects the HTML files and web files, and it puts a link in all of them. And then what happens is when you go to the website or a certain page, a hidden window opens up, and approximately 2 viruses will download onto into your temporary internet files, thus spreading the worm. How did I fix this? Well, I'm going to explain so people know as a founder what I got to go through all the time. I have security software. It's amazing actually what I can do. But I installed it, and I installed it on 2,000 web pages. And what it does is it blocks the iframe command. So if anybody viruses us again or anything like that, it blocks that command. There's no way around it. Basically, it did work. I went to my site the other day ago. No viruses. My virus scans were showing nothing. And then today, someone had written me and said, "Hey Rick, I got another Trojan off your site." I'm like, okay, maybe it's not from my site. Because there's just millions of sites that put Trojans on your computer. Browsing, and you know, if you don't have your Windows updates, the ports open, Trojans start pouring in regardless. So to be on the safe side, I went in. I used a very expensive piece of software. It's state-of-the-art, very complicated. It's basically for people that have computer analyst jobs, people that are computer programmers, and I had to learn this tonight in about 10 minutes. Not an easy program to learn in 10 minutes, but I learned it, and I managed to get rid of the malicious link on 2,000 pages. And I did get rid of it, and I did, as a backup security thing, I got the security, but I also got rid of the malware link, which obviously was caused by the virus. But the good news is our site is 100% safe, it's 100% secure. Google's not going to drop our rank in the search engines, so we should be right back to normal. Site's back to free. I'm going out west. I can tell you right now I'm going to do a damn good job. I'm going to spend a lot of time in the woods looking for Bigfoot, UFOs. I'm going to spend a lot of time working, visiting places up in San Francisco that are historical. Lake Tahoe, I'll be looking out there. Las Vegas, the ghost of Las Vegas, definitely. I mean, I got a lot of plans for the organization. And, you know, like I tell some people, this is only the beginning. We've got a great group. I think what it is that it's people that's the problem. And let me explain something to everybody. As everybody knows, there's a lot of hate sites, websites bashing me, stalkers, people kind of going through the extreme for what? For nothing. You know, because I'm not in the enemy-making business, I'm in the paranormal business. But, you know, a year later, some people just will not stop. And, you know, I've been getting a lot of emails about this Encyclopedia Dramatica, and basically it's a website all about me, links to my personal ads years ago, personal information, pictures of me, you know, talking about my children. It's horrible. I'm not going to look at it. But I also laugh at it. Do you know why I laugh at it? Let me explain. Because someone put hours and hours and hours to research all this information. They got information before I even ran the Paranormal Ghost Society about me. And it hasn't accomplished nothing. I'm still getting emails and kudos, and we're still getting a lot of site hits, and we're still being successful, and producers are still contacting me. I had an editor contact me. I mean, we're still very successful. And, you know, I guess my point I'm trying to make is that this organization's not about me. It's about everybody else. It's about helping people. Nobody cares about some personal ad I posted 5-6 years ago. You know, who cares about what I do in my spare time or whether I smoke up? Nobody cares. The only people that care are the people who hate me so bad, and yet they don't even know me. And it doesn't matter, because all that matters to me is my work and my members who do care, and my friends. And, you know, it's kind of funny, but, you know, so life works in mysterious ways. And, you know, I'm pretty good friends with an urban explorer. You know, he's a pretty good guy. And, you know, I think that just shows to a lot of people out there that I don't have nothing against urban explorers. And there's a lot of misconceptions about me. And I do the radio show partially to try to clear up those things. And if they don't get cleared up, then the old saying is ignorance is bliss. But I'm a damn good paranormal investigator. And, you know, I go out there. I've been out in snowstorms, windstorms, hurricanes. I've done this type of work for many years now. And I haven't gotten much. I pay for the site, I pay for everything, and I'm not like some of these other sites. Some of the, I read an article, a paranormal article I sent out the other day, and what it talked about was how this one parapsychologist group was making so much money a year. I don't know what it said, $18,000 a year. It's a lot of money, and it does cost a lot to run an organization, but it doesn't cost that much. I mean, you look at the content on our site and the content of some other site that makes that type of money. We're the ones with the more content. That's because everything comes out of my pocket. And this is for my friends, this is for my fans, so that they can enjoy what we do. And I'll be more than happy to help anybody. But I'm just not going to tolerate people abusing me and walking all over me. As a founder, I got a lot of responsibilities, and people making web pages about me, they act like it's going to get my spirits down. I'm going to stop exploring, and I'm going to quit doing my site. It's not going to happen. What we do here is very serious. It's very risky. And like I always tell everybody the story, I've been shot at. I've almost been hit by a vehicle, actually a couple vehicles. I lost my friend. I've had military helicopters with infrared flying over me. I've risked a lot of my time. I've fallen off a cliff. I almost went over a waterfall. Almost died from an infection about 6 months ago. My body, I got scars all over my body from being out in the woods and especially the Florida jungle and just getting cut up in the saw palmetto because I sometimes go off the trails. Made a lot of sacrifices. I'm not going to quit. And, all the hate that goes around the internet, I don't even look at because I don't care. I'll just go toke one up. I'll have an ice cold beer. I'll sit out under the stars and cook a couple bratwursts. I don't care because my work shows on my site, and that is why I reopened the archives, so I can clear up these misconceptions of people saying, yeah, you don't do nothing, you got just orb pics. No, we got over 50,000 photos, and some of them ghost photos, you can see the teeth and the eyes and the pupils and even the ties and the clothing. They're real ghosts. Those are real ghost photos. And I've seen ghosts, and I believe in ghosts. And, I've seen probably 2 Shadowmen in the last 5 years. One was in a cemetery. Actually, both were in cemeteries. And I noticed lately there's a lot of Shadowmen articles that are going out across the web, and, nobody knows what they are. Maybe they're time travelers. It's hard to say. Maybe they're ghosts, maybe they're demons, maybe they're some other dimensional being, maybe they're angels. Nobody knows. They're usually black, have red eyes, usually at night, usually broad-shouldered, arms are much bigger, they look like male. They never look very feminine or very female-like. Just looks like a giant man. And, I used to see these beings when I was a kid, and I said, what the hell's going on here? What are these things, When I got old enough to realize that I'm dealing with something that's more than I was brought up or taught, I went out there and I sought it out myself. And I found what I was looking for. But some of you as fans and members, you still haven't found what you're looking for. I know what exists in the afterlife. And I keep going out there because I want people to read our journals. I expect a lot of success when I'm out west. I'm going to take my vehicle, I'm going to go down a bunch of dirt roads, I'm going to park my vehicle, I'm going to go hiking, I'm going to go camping, I'm going to look for Sasquatch when I'm out west. I can't wait. And, a lot of people just don't realize that if you don't get involved, you miss out on good things. Because in my group and on my team, everybody's equal. There's no unequality. You can do whatever the hell you want, really. I don't have a lot of strict rules. I just want people to work alongside with me and help out. And, and unfortunately in another week, I'll be out there investigating by myself. And, that's very sad that a founder of his organization goes unprotected and has nobody to help him out. And I'm not whining, I'm not bitching. But, as a radio show host and a founder and numerous things in this organization, Yeah, I tell it like I see it. If it's a fish, it's a fish. If it's a bird. And, you know, I've noticed that a lot of people aren't participating in my boards, and some of you might think I virused you because of what happened, this website attack, but we're a large site, and we do get attacked, and my host just added more new features, you know, with more data encryption in case this happens, and, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, let me put it this way to you hate groups that do viruses. Okay, first off, if you virus me, your friends are going to end up getting virus. There's no way around it, because some of your friends are going to go to the site, they're going to get the virus, they're going to spread it to you when they send you something. Even, you know, if your virus scanner picks it up, not everybody uses the same virus scanner. So, you know, this not only affected me, this affected people who hate me too. It's kind of ironic. It's like, why? Why go to that extreme? I mean, I easily could back everything up, and I do back everything up. And, you know, my host, you know, if this doesn't stop, you know, somebody's going to get prosecuted. You know, and I don't like to take that route because I'm a good guy. But, you know, when it comes to justice, it's pretty harsh with me. You know, and like I always tell people, you know, like Rick's a bad guy. It's like, damn straight. I've broken hundreds of laws in my time. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of laws. You know, and the thing is that, you know, I'm very traditional. I believe in an eye for an eye. You know, and if you end up doing this to people, you know, it's very childish, and you should be punished for it. We're a good organization. A lot of good people out there. A lot of urban explorers on my paranormal site. Some of them people are good people. Some of them people are friends to everybody. And it's not, but I care enough to get rid of it, and it's gone. So those are the couple announcements that I wanted to make. Sites, archives are open, Paracomedy's open. If you donate $25, you'll get some stickers, compliments of Mike Digital, who runs his board called Deggy 5. He's a great friend, and he runs a great urban exploring group. And, you know, I wouldn't have it any other way, because if the world was the same, it'd be a boring place. It's nice to have one person in the UFOs, one person in the Bigfoot, one person in the urban exploring, one person in the ghost. It's great. We're a charismatic organization. And, you know, I'll tell you right now, I take members of all kinds with open arms, because I'm not like these other people. You know, I raise a family. You know, I have kids. You know, I try to live life. I do a little fishing. I share a part of myself with others, and I get punished for it. But that's okay, because again, all that matters is that the work that I do. Was Lord Rick at the asylum? Yes, he was. Did Lord Rick get pictures of the asylum? Yes, he did. And that's all that matters. In conclusion, it's not gonna ruin my good name. It's not gonna change an editor doing a story on me. So those that keep hating, keep failing. And you failed for the past year. And you've done some horrible things, and I'm still here, and I'm still kicking strong. I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. I'm not gonna mention names. I'm just talking about people in general who are negative and ignorant towards our organization, and, you know, abuse people that they don't even know. You know, it's incredibly sad is what it is. Also, I don't know if some of you seen the meteor shower, but it was around the 12th and 13th of August. I didn't see one in the sky. It was supposed to be a big meteor shower. Didn't see a damn thing. But anyways, at 12:30 on August 27th, there's going to be a rare lunar eclipse. Actually, it'll look like there's two moons in the sky. I guess Mars is coming real close to Earth. Next one will probably happen in about 250 years. So if you get a chance, go outside around 12:30 a.m. on the 27th. Check it out. I expect there to be a lot of UFO activity when this occurs. I don't know if you noticed or been reading the articles or that I did send out. There's been a lot of UFO activity. It's another reason why I'm going out west. I'm going to get myself abducted. Well, actually, I probably won't get abducted. I'll probably go willingly because aliens have always fascinated me. And, you know, you go out in the desert, you go out in Death Valley, or you drive out in the Mojave Desert. There's canyons, there's just dirt roads everywhere, and just miles of desert and canyons and mountains, and it just seems like it's... And, you know, that's where all the alien activity is. That's where things move around and hide up in the mines and up in the mountains and stuff. And I really am looking forward to doing a lot of UFO activity type of investigations out west, because you don't get as many in Orlando. Although I did read a month ago there was a sighting in downtown Orlando of a UFO. Someone's seen it in their backyard or something like that. How true, I don't know. You know, sometimes people end up getting stoned and they get high and they get drinking and they think they see a UFO. And of course, anything is a UFO if you can't identify it, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's extraterrestrial. A lot of government craft. The government are trying to perfect craft that can break the sound barriers, which they already have. And they test these craft, and people see them and mistaken them for UFOs. So you see, we try to put things in the logic a lot of times too. Not everything is paranormal that goes on. Also, I'd like to say, now that we're back in business, we will be adding a new band. I'm looking forward to this, actually. And the name of the group and band is RHC. And I'll be looking forward to actually promoting them on the site. I mean, they got good music, and you know, it's really nice to see that a lot of things are starting to come together. But like I said, we lack donations, we lack investigators. Also, please don't use the PayPal on our page. I'm going to be changing PayPal very soon. I'll have that up a little bit, I guess, probably tomorrow or in a day or two. I'm not too concerned, you know. Like I said, I'm not out for the money. You know, I think that it's very important how the money's used that you get. You know, a lot of groups pocket the money. You know, and then there's some groups like mine, we get funding, and it goes towards a trip to a ghost town. It goes towards batteries. It goes towards supplies to survive, or cameras, you know. And we put it on our site, and you guys get to enjoy it. So, you know, you really can't go wrong. We just need more people involved with us. Then I sent out an article, and the article was called, "Is the Earth Really Flat?" It's all about the flat Earth theory and about a group who wants to prove that it's flat and all this. But, yeah, let's face it. You look in a telescope, you see Mars, you see other planets, you see Jupiter, you see the moon, and most of them are round. I don't think anybody has ever discovered a flat planet before. So, you know, right there, eliminated. Earth is not flat, Earth is round. Now, on the other hand, Earth's mysteries, it's another story. The Earth could be hollow, the hollow Earth theory. You know, there's probably a whole nother world below our feet and we don't even know it. One of those places that's supposed to have an underworld is Death Valley. And I believe it. People say that there's catacombs under there. I don't know if they're true. Maybe I'll find them. Yeah, I do a lot of research. I get a lot of tips. And sometimes I get people, you know, that give me big tip-offs. So, you know, I got the sources and definitely the know-how to find such places where there's vortexes and catacombs and things like that. And, you know, we'll see what happens. I mean, the Earth's a very interesting planet, and I don't think we're going to be able to discover as humans everything that's on it. I think we're always making new discoveries and finding out. Then we had another news article that on the planet of Saturn, the 60th moon was discovered. A lot of people believe there's life on Saturn's moons. The Cassini spacecraft, as you know, has been orbiting around that planet, and it keeps discovering new things about Saturn. Some of the moons look like they have water. Some people think that our moon at one time did sustain life too, and it may sustain alien life. Who knows? But that was just something I thought that was interesting. 60 moons around a planet. Can you imagine if Earth had 60 moons around it? I'm sure the night sky would be all lit up. It'd be very pretty. But You know, if one moon makes people very moody and cranky and turn into werewolves, can you imagine what 60 moons would do to a human being? And then, of course, our last story is about a miracle called Dead Sea Keeps Missing Boy Alive. And it goes on to say that a massive manhunt and rescue operation ended in joy around midnight between Thursday and Friday after a missing child was found alive, floating in the Dead Sea. The high salt and mineral content of the water, while extremely dangerous to ingest, kept the child afloat. 8-year-old Shanero Zalman Friedman disappeared within minutes on Thursday after he entered the water at 5 p.m. with his father and brother. It is known that high winds often blow through the Dead Sea area towards evening, cooling off the fever out of the day, but in this case they caused the tide to carry him away. The family residents of the Mia Shurim neighborhood in Jerusalem immediately raised the alarm when they could not find him. And you know, I know the story's not paranormal, but you know, it's a miracle that they ever found him, and you know, it just kind of tells you a little bit about how society is in other parts of the world, and how us humans take things for granted. You know, we all have PlayStation 2s and 3s, and you know, microwaves and dishwashers, but these people in other countries, they're out there boating and fishing to earn a living, to feed their families. And you know, sometimes people die when they're out there doing these things. And it's a real sad world. And it's just nice to see that a little boy was found out in the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea is one of the more mysterious seas in the world. It does have a high salt content, so technically it does make you float or buoyant much more than any body of water on the planet besides, we'll say, Salt Lake. I thought that was a pretty good story. And of course, you know, if you want to read those stories, you can join one of our forums we have. We run quite a few forums, but our Yahoo ones and our Google one and our MSN one, they retain the most articles. Not as much participation as our MySpace group or our PHP private BBS board, but on the other hand, I do send out a lot of articles, and they're just odd stories, you know, they're just about ghosts and UFOs and Bigfoot and miracles and strange oddities, and you know, and it's very interesting to read some of them. And you know, I wish I could sit here all night and cover them all, but honestly, it's almost 3 a.m. and I haven't even eaten dinner, so I gotta go cook dinner at 3 in the morning. And of course, I guess that's why you can call me a Ghostbuster, because here I am doing a radio show at 3 in the morning, eating any dinner. So I'd like to close. You know, I would like to take the time to apologize for those that got virused from our site. All I can say is, as long as there's hate groups out there and hatred, you know, the only thing you can do is prepare. Keep your virus scanners updated. Always use 2 virus scanners. Keep your Resident Shield on so it automatically detects it before it spreads. Our site is always safe. And I pay for the software, and I pay for a lot of different things to keep it secure when something like this happens. And, you know, now that I know what's going on, I'm able to prevent it from happening again. So enjoy the site, enjoy the archives. It's free. I won't stress too much, but I will say that you should donate if you're gonna browse the site and enjoy it for what it's worth. Pitch in a little bit. I'm not naming a price. I just want everybody to do their part. One person investigates, one does research, a few show to the meetup, a few donate. We all work together. So I don't know when the next radio show is going to be. We have to start preparing. October's a busy month. I'd like to try to plan a trip out to Savannah, Georgia, probably in about November. It's a real haunted city. This is about as close as I'm going to be to it, so I might as well go. Probably take a bus up there. Ember's also probably going to buy me a bus ticket. She lives in southern Florida, so we'll probably get to do a couple more investigations in southern Florida. Me and her have been friends for a while since I've been in Florida, and You know, people that I've been friends with for a while, I mean, it's obvious that we should meet. We should hang out. We should explore and investigate together. I mean, that's just the way it works. But I'd like to take the time to thank those who support me, who believe in me, my fans, and people who are understanding. I also like to take the time for you for listening in on this radio show tonight. You know, I'd like to say regards and best wishes. This is your founder, Lord Rick, and I will see you on the flip side. Or who knows, maybe I'll see you in another space, in another time. Stay tuned for things to come. Paranormal and Ghost Society is back. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.